In this video we're going to go over why I've tried to stay away from doing a comparison of MMRs, and then we're going to do a comparison of MMRs. Welcome to Did You Know? Right, first off let's go over why I've not actually done this and why I've tried my best not to do this. So a simple reason really is half of the community is going to go, or half the people that watch this are going to go, yeah, actually that makes sense. Fair one, you've not wanted to start shit for once. The other half of the community are going to lose their fucking minds. So, this is IKEA's little database thing. It talks about burst, sustain, how to calculate them, and then puts them in base value only, burst and sustain order for pretty much every weapon. However, the astute among you might recognise that there is no MMR on the list. That's the first problem. Although I know how to calculate these from base, it also doesn't actually mean anything, especially with MMRs, simply just due to the fact of when you start putting things like damage to targets out of cover on certain things. Most weapons will stay in the exact same order, however it does mess with exotics. Then we add in what's called the secret hidden stat. Now, on this build I have 20% headshot from my watch. Easy, 20%. If I then go look at my build, I have 15% from the 3-piece Providence, just having one piece of it, so that's 35%. So far really easy. I then have 10% from Dodge City holster. The rest of the stats on this build are crit chance, crit damage. That's it. I have a total of 45% headshot damage on this build. Why does it say 100? It even shows us on the right hand side 10 from Dodge City, 15 from Providence, and 20 from the watch. 10 plus 15 plus 20 does not equal 100. If I swap to rifle I get 105. If I swap to my pistol I get 155. It shows like Dodge City holster 10, Regulus is 10, Providence 15, headshot from watch 20. Even my specialization weapon has 110. Where is all this magical headshot coming from? Well, it's actually quite simple. You see, every weapon has an intrinsic value hidden. It's not actually shown, you can only see it in your stat screen, of headshot damage. ARs typically have 55%. LMGs have 65%, which is interesting. SMGs tend to have 50, although it can fluctuate depending on weapon to weapon. Shotguns have 45%. Rifles have between 95 and 60%. Pistols have 100%. And MMRs have 0. Yeah. Now, you might be thinking, well, hang on, it's like there's an attribute on it. You're correct, like they do get the attribute for headshot damage. However, if you look at your assault rifle, it will say assault rifle damage, health damage, and then whatever your third would be, typically damage to targets out of cover. Where does it say 55% headshot? It's essentially, you've got 4 attributes on pretty much every weapon. You've got your weapons damage, AR, SMG, bloody blah, the intrinsic value that they always come with. ARs get 21% health damage, LMGs 12% damage to targets out of cover, SMGs 21% critical hit chance, shotguns 12% damage to armor, rifles 17% critical hit damage, MMR 111% headshot damage, and pistols 0. Nothing. Now, what this all effectively means is MMRs, when it comes to DPS, is terrible. Like, it's an absolute waste. Like, I can't even begin to express how pointless it is comparing MMR DPS. One, if you have to spam the things, they're very, very inaccurate. Like, legitimately all of them are beyond inaccurate when being spammed, if you actually have the ability to spam them. 2, the highest DPS MMR is the SVD. The highest DPS rifle at base, this is all at base, so highest DPS MMR at base is SVD. Highest DPS rifle is Dr. Home. The difference between them is like 30%. Pretty much in terms of DPS, every rifle will beat every AR, which is just beyond freaking comical. So, what is the point of an MMR? Well, I'm trying to demonstrate, in between me spamming out my character, that the idea between an MMR is one shot, one kill. Now, annoyingly, putting aside the TAC 50, there's only 3 MMRs that do this quite well. They are Mantis, White Death, and Nemesis. That's it. That's your list of MMRs that are worthwhile in this game. This is why I was so annoyed when they brought out that new Imperialis thing that staring at something for 2 seconds sets them on fire. Typically, most people's, depending on the build you're playing, but most DPS plays, particularly with an MMR, if you're staring at something for 2 seconds, you're the one that's dead, not the enemy. So staring at them for 2 seconds is a complete waste of time. 2, that weapon has very, very limited capability in order to actually one-shot things anyway. If you're running an MMR build, you're normally using Pristine Example for perfect focus, or, most likely, Chain Killer to just one-shot your way through the game. I have tried and tried and tried with the G28. I can't get it to actually one-shot things above hard. When I put it on challenging, it fails dramatically. So there's no way that thing's doing heroic, let alone legendary. It's just not happening. So yeah, the reason I've not done an MMR video is from my point of view and the way in which MMRs should be played. I say that, like, emphasis on should, really. MMR, one shot, one kill. If you're going for DPS with an MMR, you are categorically doing it wrong, and there's only 3 MMRs in the game that allow you to do the one shot, one kill. White Death, Mantis, Nemesis. Yeah, you could argue the Cust M44, it's just a non-named variant of the White Death, but why would you do that, considering White Death has like an extra 36% or 26% headshot damage? Yeah, it's just like, why would you pick 111% headshot damage over 137 or whatever it is? So yeah, White Death, Mantis, Nemesis. They are your options. Now, in terms of speed and accuracy, White Death does outperform the others. Mantis is... I know there's a lot of fanboys about Mantis. I personally do not like it, especially in solo play. The whole decoy thing just annoys me. Like, oh, why's my damage dropped off? Oh, something looked at me. What? And then Nemesis is obviously the single hardest hitting MMR in the game, not including TAC 50. However, the charge up time is what bothers me. My main go-to MMR is always, and will probably always be, White Death. I use Nemesis if I have to. I don't really use Mantis. I'm not actually really much of an MMR player, but when it comes to like DPS with MMRs, there's no point. Even like in optimal range, the majority of rifles have higher or equal to optimal range. 17 MMRs have an optimal range of 60 meters. That's the highest. The rest are like 40 meters and below, which is comical to say the least. In comparison, pretty much every rifle is 50 meters and above. There's 7. You got the ACR, MDR battle rifles, and the 1886. They are 28, 28. Oh, and the M16A2, which is 32 meters. The rest are at 50 meters and up. So not only do they have a higher DPS rate, they're more accurate, they do more damage, they also have a greater optimal range. So for me personally, well, and technically they come with 4 attributes rather than 3, so they're more versatile in your builds. You can go for headshot, you can go for DPS. Whereas MMR is headshot. Did you kill? Use a better MMR, of which you've got 3. With rifles, depending on your build, most of them are pretty much all usable. So, if we end up doing a meta list, this is pretty much what comes out. Scar, shit, shit, shit. G28, shit, shit. M700, shit, 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 shit. SVD, shit, shit, shit. SRS, shit, Mantis, shit. M44, not white def, 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 and white def. DSR1, shit. Tactical 308, shit. And custom AWN, Nemesis. Yeah, that's basically what it would look like. Because there's no point to actually using any of the others. Now, I'm aware there's going to be someone that goes, oh, but my build with X MMR is actually really good. Put a rifle on it, you'll do more, you're welcome. Right, just because I know someone somewhere is going to get grumpy and just, yeah. This is an SVD versus a White Death. We're mainly going to look at head no crit because we're not really going to be critting that much anyway, but at maximum headhunter stacks, the SVD is going to be hitting about 13.8 mil, while White Death is hitting 39.8 mil. Now don't get me wrong, even 13.8 mil is pretty much enough to one-shot your way through Heroic. There is one thing that this doesn't quite convey though. This is at maximum headhunter stacks. This is with no stacks. SVD, no head, no crit. 2.4 mil. You can't even one-shot a red. White Death, 7 mil. That will one-shot a red. Depending on the buff, you might be able to one-shot a purple as well. So yeah, that's your starting point. So why would you fire 2 shots when you can fire 1? What if you're not using Headhunter and you're using Focus? That's fine, got you covered there as well. SVD will just about one-shot a red. You'd do maybe 3-4 shots for a purple, whereas White Death would one-shot a purple at maximum headhunt, for maximum focus. Potentially as well, depending on. I'm pretty sure you could one-shot an elite with it as well. I think they've only got like 9.8 mil, and you're hitting 10 mil. So, yeah. I don't understand why you would go for DPS on an MMR when there are 3 very good options that forego DPS and just go here, have 1 bullet, 1 kill. This is why I've not done an MMR list, because someone somewhere is now going to get really grumpy at me saying that I'm like elitist or whatever. No, I just don't understand why you would nerf yourself. Like, you have 3 MMRs in this game. That is it. I don't care like what the others say. They're just poor imitations of rifles, and rifles just outright do more. And then when it comes to rifles, your best bet is really some of the exotics or the M1As. This is no fault of the players or anyone else. It's just incredibly unbalanced gameplay. It's beyond unbalanced, and it is unfair. There are going to be some people that really want to use XYZ, and they can, but I wouldn't recommend it, simply just because there is going to be something that does the exact same job, better, cleaner, easier. It's probably easier to get as well as maintain, and the overall effect is going to be greater. This is the annoying thing with games like this. Someone always gets grumpy, but they don't understand that you can do the exact same thing with less. Anyway, that is just about going to cover it for this video. It's grumpy. People have been asking, which is why I've done it. Have fun. Good luck. Don't die. It's bad for the health.